First unit we cover in grade 7 is interactions and ecosystems. Now what we mean by these two terms, better get them straight before we move any further. Ecosystems are when you take all the living things and all non-living that live in an environment. Oops, that's a little messy there. Still getting used to this pen. So all living and non-living things in an environment. So we'll look at ecosystems and we'll take all those living and non-living things and we'll see how they interact. And interactions simply just mean how they all will affect each other or influence. So how do they interact? What do they do to each other? Do they rely on each other? Do they use each other in some way? Do they need each other? So let's go on to some examples here. So if we take an ecosystem and the living things in it, let's take Waterton Park for an example here. If we just think of a few of the living things that are found in Waterton, lots of people see lots of bears in Waterton. There's squirrels. We got some trees, grasses. The bears love the berries. Let's list them as well. And there's lots of other living things. Oh, we can't forget humans. We love to be in Waterton. And then the non-living things. You have lots of water in Waterton. Air, something that everything needs to rely on and interact with. You have lots of mountains, some grassy plain areas, and this can even extend outside of Waterton a ways because lots of the animals that live in Waterton are found a long ways away from Waterton as well. So their ecosystem is pretty big. It's not just Waterton. Caves, all the different burrows that the animals dig in the ground. Even the water, you can think of, there's waterfalls. Some organisms interact with waterfalls. Some interact more with the streams. So there's even different areas of the water that we could separate into different categories of non-living things. But basically, if we look at all these examples here, we've got the living and non-living things in Waterton, so we call Waterton an ecosystem with all those things together. So if we take all these living and non-living things that we can find in Waterton, we can look at how they all interact now. So that's the title of our unit. Bears, they need water, they need air to breathe, they find their homes in the mountains, on the plains. Squirrels dig burrows, they live in the different cracks in the rocks, find little caves to live in and The trees, they need air as well, they need water. Grasses, same thing. Bears eat the berries. Hopefully the bears don't eat the humans too often. If you're not careful, they might eat you. But we see how all these living and non-living things can interact with each other. And all living things have basic needs. And we'll get into those in the next little clip here. This was just an introduction. Whoa, I can't spell right now. It's hard to spell and talk at the same time. So these are the interactions. See you in the next lesson.